Hello, my sweet goats. Yo, welcome to another episode of Bunty King Live. I need to fucking get more regular with this shit. I need to find an actual time slot because right now what's happening is I'm doing Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern, and then I'm doing Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern, and then Wednesdays I'm doing it like 1 p.m. Sometimes I'm pushing it to 5:30 like I did it right now. I need to fucking fix my shit. Guys, I am joined by someone that looks like Tom Selleck but isn't Tom Selleck. He is a ex-police officer that creates some very interesting content on YouTube and pretty much provides commentary over high-intensity police situations. And it's perfect because I mean he was a police officer, and because he's able to provide commentary in such a I guess not an open-ended but a more empathetic manner. It really doesn't. You don't leave his videos feeling fucked up. You end up leaving his videos feeling kind of okay. So his name is Donut Operator. Just passed 100,000 subs. I don't know how long ago. When was it?
It was a few months ago. I just hit 150. I think.
Yeah, I saw. I saw
weeks ago. So
that's really amazing. And I also, yeah, I just. When did it happen? Like at some point, you just took off, right? What video did it for you?
Man, it was a few of them all at one time. It was really weird. I don't know why YouTube started favoring me all of a sudden, but yeah, it went from like I had, I think 50,000 subs, and then suddenly I had 130,000 within a few weeks. And
okay,
it's like 5 or 6 videos started trending around the same time, and I think it was all the riots and the Antifa stuff, people beating the shit out of each other at all these rallies, and me doing commentary on them, and everyone was just really into that all of a sudden, and got me like 80,000 subs just quick.
that's amazing. And how is your comment section?
I mean, it's toxic like anyone's comment section. Yeah,
okay.
I mean, but I'm gonna say mostly positive. There's a lot of toxic people in there, though. You're always gonna get the people that are like kill all cops, fuck the pigs, all that stupid shit,
Other crazy shit, more racist shit.
Yeah.
So I saw one of the videos I saw recently was this video of this cop going into an apartment complex, and there's this I guess a black dude that really that wasn't able to really speak English the best, and he ended up rushing the cops and chasing the cop, and then got him and pushed the cop down and was holding the cop's leg hostage. Pretty much the cop just like gave up, and it was a clusterfuck of a situation, honestly.
Yeah, God, yeah, that one's pretty bad. Like I did a video on that. It was like a criminal domestic violence. Husband and wife were arguing. The cop goes in. He tells the guy, he's like, step back. The guy's like, don't tell me to step back, and he just rushes him. And the cop uses every less than lethal option he had. He tried to tase the guy. Taser didn't work. Pulled his baton out. The guy took his baton away from him.
Oh my God.
And yeah, he finally ended up on the ground, and the guy was holding his leg, and the cop just kind of gave up. Like you said, he just stopped fighting.
There was a part where I actually laughed, and it was when the police car drove by.
Oh yeah, he just hauled ass right by him.
I actually just laughed because it was so funny. It was like that was, I mean, it was a horrific situation, but it was funny because I mean, you just can't help but like see the humor and some shit like that. But at the end, they ended up killing the guy. But what I remember from that video is like you weren't really aggravated to the point where like you weren't like, I mean, you didn't. The thing that's interesting about channel is you're not looking to antagonize people. You're just seeing the situation, laying out the facts, and then you ask the audience like what's going on, what they think was the right approach. And then I was watching it with Chris Raygun and Lacey Green. I was at her place, and Lacey was like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. Like, why would they just kill him? I was like, listen, like he's a cop. You don't rush a cop. You just don't do that. It just makes no sense. But and then she was like, well, why didn't they just shoot him in the leg or something like that? I'm like, that's not what cops are trained to do. They're not trained for leg shots. They're trained for aiming for center mass.
Yeah, man, I got a whole video on that too about the whole leg shot thing. It's just, it's not the correct thing to do in situations like that.
Okay, so what would happen if a cop decided to just start shooting at the legs?
Well, the reason that they teach you to shoot center mass in the chest because it has the it won't over penetrate usually when you hit the biggest mass of flesh in somebody's body. It won't go through you and hit somebody behind you. Legs are usually moving, hard as hell to hit. Police officers aren't professional marksmen. You shoot to end the threat. You don't shoot to wound the threat. The only reason you should be shooting something is to make sure that it's not attacking you anymore. Just 100% take it out of the picture. And there's so many arteries in the legs too. And what people don't realize is that when a bullet enters the body, it does crazy shit. It can bounce around inside your body. It fragments. and there are huge arteries in your legs, so you're just as likely to die from a leg shot as you are, you know, getting shot in your abdomen.
Yeah, and a lot. I think this is generally something that people say based on them watching these Hollywood movies, where like this hero gets shot in the leg and it's just a leg wound. It's not really a big deal, and he's like just just capacitated for a little bit. Or video games do that all the time, where you like shoot someone in the leg and it's really not supposed to be the place where you can kind of bleed out of.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it is silly. And anybody with, I mean, I don't have like police training, but I mean, I know enough police officers where that's pretty much what you're not firing, you're not discharging your weapon just to like wound the guy. You're discharging them to
end the threat.
End the threat. I love that. I love it. I'm here using layman's term, like kill the guy, and you're like end the threat.
Neutralize.
which is so open-ended, so open-ended. So listen, man, let's get off that topic for a bit. I wanted to know, how was your 2017, man? If you were to go ahead and just describe it for us in a little bit.
It was good, man. I mean, the channel blew up. Both of our channels are really growing this year.
Both your channels? Well, I'm tripping.
No, I'm sorry. Both of our channels.
Our channels.
Your channel's starting to get, starting to gain traction also. I think it was a good year for us, and especially for you guys, in the skeptic community. And
no. I'm not like, I'm distancing myself from all the communities. I just have friends. I have friends in multiple areas of YouTube, and that's pretty much how I'd like to keep it. I'm doing my own thing, and I don't want to align myself too much with the community. I would say the community aspect is really just the people that I've chosen to surround myself with, right? So people like you, people like my buddy, I'm Alex, Leon Lush, Ricky Berwick, Ricky Berwick, a skeptic, I did end up falling too far to like the political side of YouTube, because I was interested in it, because I was seeing a lot of things that were like things that I wanted to comment on, because I love talking about society. I love talking about social issues. I got a little bit too entrenched in that, particularly on Twitter, because that's where I'm the most. I've been the most active this year is Twitter. My Twitter's through the roof. Like it's insane how much.
You've had like 3 Twitters this year, haven't you?
Yeah, I've had 3 Twitters. This is I'm actually back to my second. You know that, right?
Oh, no, you went.
So I mean, I had the first Twitter account, which is Mr. Bundy King. That's the first one. That's the one where we met, and then I lost that because of Tariq Nasheed. All right, and then I have Real Bundy King, which blew up like within 2 weeks. I surpassed whatever I had on Mr. Bundy King, so I completely like threw that one in the garbage. It didn't even matter. And then I lost it again in November 17th, November 18th, and it was like, what the fuck? It was over something so stupid and trivial. Like it was just ridiculous. And it was pretty shitty, because I was gone off Twitter for a month, and I felt like I lost contact with everyone. And this group of people that I really love to talk to, I was able to add some people to as friends. I don't know your full name exactly. But like, I mean, I was able to add some people to Facebook, but beyond that, I wasn't able to really kind of do that. I started rebuilding on other platforms. But then I applied for an appeal once Twitter had updated the rules, which takes in context for tweets now. And I applied for the appeal, and they took context of the tweet that I was reported for, and I was freed. So now I have my old account back again, which is fucking perfect.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it was really good. And so when I noticed that what happened with Twitter was that when I lost Twitter, my channel took a hit for sure, because I mean, that was my primary marketing thing. I started that Twitter Numbnut series, which is just like a lot of fun. And of course, people on Twitter obviously want to see more content on Twitter, and they want to see commentary on Twitter. And I was able to provide that that thing to them through YouTube.
Yeah.
But no, that's amazing. So your channel has blown up. Both our channels are doing okay. Mm-hmm. And you did mention something, and I mean, I don't want to get too personal, but I mean, you were having issues though with YouTube in terms of monetization.
Yeah, I'm still having some issues with them, actually.
So what's your trick or advice to people who are having issues with that, who do have a high volume of traffic like yourself?
Dude, it is all over the place. Like, okay, so I did the Daniel Shaver shooting, the one where they were in the hotel and the cop shot him while he was on his hands and knees. You know what I'm talking about? The shooting that was just popular a few weeks ago. Okay. Well, I did a breakdown of that shooting, put a lot of information on there, put a few hours of work into this video, and I didn't even show them shoot the guy, and it gets demonetized. Request manual review. They still say it's not advertiser friendly, but you go and you look at like the Young Turks, and they put the video on there, didn't give any information as to whatsoever was going on. Really,
they just show the shooting. They're like, look at this horrific
full shooting. Yeah, and then Chink gets up there and shows his ass like he always does. And they had ads all over the video. And so I made a rant about that. The first rant I've ever made was like, fuck you, YouTube, fuck the Young Turks, you're all pieces of shit. And it got monetized. My rant got monetized. It didn't make any fucking sense. So
I think, and I brought this up in a Twitter video about Jake Paul. I think that, there's obviously some content creators that have been whitelisted for premium ads and whitelisted just in general, so they don't really get hit with demonetization, especially if they're like high volume, content creators that are making YouTube a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm not sure how much you or the audience knows about advertising, but we get paid based on CPM, which is cost per mil, right? And the cost per mil is like what our ad space is worth, right? So mine is, I think, at $5, but it can go up to like $20. It can go higher than that, So, and that's like the amount, that's like how much an ad costs per 1,000 impressions, right? And so these people like, the Young Turks, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, they're making, they have like the creme of CPMs.
Yeah.
So their ads make so much more money for YouTube. So of course they're going to want to monetize their shit, right? Yeah. And people like you and I will end up getting shafted. Now, what have you done to like kind of avoid losing money on your videos?
Okay, I tried not cursing. All right.
Okay.
But then my rant, where I cursed more in one video than I have the past year, got monetized. So it's not the cursing. I don't think it's the cursing at all. When I mention a shooting, whether it be old or new, and show any footage, whether I blur it or not, it's demonetized. So current events that have death in them, even if you show the raw footage, even if you blur it, they're going to demonetize it. And that's a problem. That sucks for my channel, because shootings are like, that's my thing. That's what I like doing. That's where people come to my channel to see, is for me to break down shootings.
When people die, donuts on it.
Exactly.
Just donut.
I'm just not gonna,
like, yes.
I'm not gonna take selfies with a body in a fucking forest.
People in the chat are trying to figure out who's got the better facial hair, your mustache or my beard, and I would have to say that your mustache is, because a beard anyone can rock. A beard is very normal. A mustache, you either look like a dirty hipster or you look like a badass, right? And you have the whole badass thing going for you. So, and if I rocked a mustache, I would look like a dirty hipster for sure, for sure. Yeah, dude. But have you tried maybe like unlisting the video when you upload it, and then waiting for it to get demonetized, and then requesting the appeal, and then uploading it, or like making it live once it's no longer been demonetized?
Yeah, I've noticed that even if I don't talk about a shooting, all my videos are demonetized, even if I unlist them. Right when I upload them, I get the little yellow dollar sign.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have to request manual review, and if it's a shooting, then it's just automatically.
Really? So so with the ones that are about shootings, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can request a review, and they'll actually manually, deny it.
Yeah, I can request manual reviews on any of them, and they
actually manually deny it. That's fucking crazy. Mm-hmm. Your content is. I would show your content to a teenager. I would show your content. Like, that's not, like, I don't think it's really that bad. Your content is actually very educational in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I have people sending me emails and shit all the time, like, hey, my instructor in criminal justice class just showed some of your videos.
It's amazing. That's incredible.
And so, I have actual educators showing my videos in their classes, but YouTube doesn't think they're advertiser friendly for everyone. Okay.
Well, I think the one thing that I came to terms with, because I haven't been making very much money on YouTube. Like, I have friends who kill it on live streams. Like, these guys are making like I know one guy that made like almost like $2,000 in a live stream. Hundreds of dollars. Yeah, no, just by talking. And it's not. I'm not complaining, because I too have received emails from people, or received like, Facebook messages from people who are like, I really appreciate what you do, and for me that is worth so much more than uh than $20 every
Mhm.
video. I would like to get to that point where I'm making lots of money per video,
Yeah.
but I don't think that, like, it's never been about getting there fast. It's always been about that slow build up to that point.
Mhm.
And I think that, you getting emails from people saying that, your teacher showed that your video in class is just amazing, because you're having a direct cultural impact. Uh, you're actually helping people, which
Yeah.
is the ultimate reward. Now, have you tried like aligning with sponsors?
I haven't really reached out and tried to get any sponsors. I should probably start doing that. The way that YouTube is going right now.
You could, I mean, dude, you can fucking, I'm sure that if you contact, you could get a gun sponsor. I feel like you'd be able to get a gun sponsor.
I think so. Gun,
Or,
tactical equipment, stuff
and
like
tactical
that.
equipment for
Yeah.
sure. There's actually this company. I don't know what it is. I don't. This is company. I don't know what it is. I don't know the name. But I saw it on my Facebook, and they were offering, like, it's like a loot crate, but like for tactical gear. And like they have like a variety. They have like tiers, and like the highest tier is like you actually get like a legit like gun crate.
Yeah, I know
With
what
like,
you're talking about.
what is it? What is it?
Um, I can't think of the name of it either.
Do you,
The Black Rifle Coffee guys are always sharing their stuff. I
oh
can't.
yeah, those guys. That's funny. Do you have a Patreon set up?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna link the Patreon in the description as well. And I
Okay.
get and of course you also do have other revenue streams. I mean, you're using Twitch and stuff like that too. You stream on Twitch every day still.
Yeah, I stream on Twitch every day. Usually it's around 8 or 9 p.m. EST. And I've been trying, dude. That's another thing. I've been trying to get a Twitch partnership forever now, and I've submitted application like 6 or 7 times, and I meet all the guidelines, but they keep denying my partnership. So I don't know what's going on there.
Really?
If you got some big old personalities though, and you got a few hundred followers, and you submit a partnership application, they'll fucking give it to you the next day.
That's weird. And how many viewers do you have on average?
I usually have on average like 150 viewers. It's been the past few nights. It's gotten up to 300-400 viewers.
That's amazing. That's so good for you. I mean, I've started doing Twitch too. I'm not doing it as frequently, and I'm trying to find a actual solid schedule where I can actually continuously do it. Been playing a lot of Siege, and I think the most I had like was, I think, 45 viewers, but that's like big for me
Yeah,
because
that's good.
yeah, I mean, I just started. I just have like a little bit over 1,000 followers, so I'm not doing bad. There's some people who I know are partnered who are averaging less, unfortunately,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I don't know, man. Have you heard about the all this shit with the Twitch mods getting close to the female streamers and letting them kind of ease by the guidelines and do things that would normally get them banned because they're supposedly getting nudes from these chicks or pressuring
I
them
I
to
have
flirt with
not
them. And
I have not heard of that at all.
yeah, there's
At
there's
all.
this, yeah, someone
But I
was telling
can
me
I
about it
can
the other
believe
day.
it. I can believe it for sure. These are Twitch mods are people who aren't really Twitch employees, but Twitch like kind of like has them as community mods, right? Is that what it
Yeah,
is?
yeah,
Okay, yeah, that does make sense. I can imagine that being the case. I could totally imagine it. But I mean, Twitch IRL came around and like they kind of really allowed these like quote unquote booby streamers to just not play games and just chill and sit around and just talk and have their boobs out and then just kind of make
yeah,
money, which is cool. I mean, I've never had an issue with them. Like they're fulfilling a market that I'm not going to fulfill, and most of the people that are going to go and see them aren't going to come and see me anyway, right? So
yeah,
that's the thing. Like it's not like I remember there was this argument that was built up against these booby streamers. They were like, oh, they're stealing our viewers. Like no, they're not stealing your viewers because honestly, I mean, they weren't there for you to begin with. If they're there to see boobs, they weren't going to watch you.
yeah.
So it's really just that simple.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I'm just salty they won't give me a fucking partnership.
I'll try to see if I can get in touch with someone for you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'll try to see if I can get in touch with someone for you and be like, hey, can you please hook that up to my buddy? That'd be really really cool. But yeah, no, I don't know why that's the case for you because I mean, over 100 viewers concurrent all the time. There's for sure partner people with way less. And do you think it has something to do with your content?
I mean, I don't show shootings or any of that shit on Twitch. I know that's strictly against their guidelines, and I don't curse more than anyone else that's partnered. So I don't know what it is, man. It's usually Rainbow Six Siege or PUBG.
Okay, we have to play Rainbow Six Siege, by the way, together. I would love to.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I've
absolutely.
been playing the shit out of it recently,
Yeah,
and
me too.
it's
My mods and I just got back into it big time, and we've been playing it almost every night.
okay. Well, I'm down to play tonight. I have my little porn stream that I have to do.
Mhm.
Because I have this like, yeah, you don't know about? Do you know about that?
No, no, I saw it on Instagram.
Yeah,
Like
dude. Yeah,
like one of the I remember one of the last times we talked, like we were both going through some stuff, and then like suddenly I get on your Instagram a few weeks later, and like you're hanging out with all these porn chicks. I'm like, whoa, it's looking up for old Bunty there. Look
yeah,
at
yeah. I have a gig going on the side. It's not like the most like lucrative gig, but it's just fun because it allows me to meet new people and talk to just I love people. It's always been the case, and I've also uh I've had I have a soft spot for women that work that do sex work because I feel like they're misrepresented by a lot of people, and so that give me the opportunity to kind of meet these women and just talk to them about whatever they do and why they do what they do, and just like hear their side of the story and hear just like like just understand more about them and also like be able to present people um, a more human element of them, right? So that's something that I started doing, and it's with this company called ManyVids here. So I'm doing that tonight at 8, but after that, I'm probably going to come back here and like stream as well. So if fuck man, I would love to fucking play some Siege with you because I've been like playing a ton of it, and I just been like it's just one of those games that like I don't think I'm ever going to get tired of because I just bought the 3rd season as well.
hmm
Yeah, it's been really good. What do you appreciate the most about Rainbow Six Siege? Let's go ahead and talk about fucking games. Normally, most of the time, I talk about politics or like social shit. So let's talk about games.
Yeah. I really like how each operator, has his own special thing, and if you if you pick the right team, then you can absolutely dominate people. You can't just go in there and pick random operators because it's fun. I mean, you can, but usually we play it tactically when we do it. We make sure we have the right combination of operators to go in there with, and it's nothing like real life, but it's still
No,
fun.
it's
So
definitely
yeah,
nothing like real life. From
no,
what I,
but
that's actually what I remember. I remember having that conversation with you. You told me about how like and this is something I think of all the time when I watch like some movie in which where they're clearing a room and they make this mistake all the time in movies, all the fucking time. Let me just quickly change something up over here. I just wanted to what the hell? Let me just do this real quick because I know there's some people watching and I didn't think I just made a mistake. Enable slow mode, save changes, boom, done. All right, yeah. Um, so yeah, anytime they clear a room, when they enter a room, the first person entering the room has to pretty much slam his back up against the door,
Mhm.
right? And that's
Yeah,
something that they never do in movies ever. They just
yeah,
kind of like go into the room and they're like they say clear, and it's
yeah.
like cool, and no one ever checks behind the
Didn't
door.
I told you about that,
Yeah, you
right?
did. You told me. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I remember. That's what I
yeah,
remember about that. So now whenever I see it happen, I think of you and I'm like, what the fuck? They
yeah.
didn't slam their back on the door. And can you go ahead and tell the story again? Like something there was one story that I remember you telling me about where it's either it was you or someone that slammed their back up against the door. And
Oh yeah, yeah. It would happen all the time because I I used to be on a SWAT team. I was on the SWAT team for 2 years. I was a police officer for 3 years, and yeah, 2 of those I was on SWAT, and so we did raids quite a bit. We were in a very busy city, and they teach you in SWAT school, and you pick it up that when you go in a room and the door's closed, you want to ride the door into the wall because people love to hide behind doors. And so if you ride it into the wall and there's something squishy behind it, the squishy thing behind the door is not going to feel very good when you slam a door into it, and it's probably not going to sneak up on you and shoot you. So yeah, like Bunty said, in movies and in TV, like they never ride the door. And not that you're supposed to stand in the doorway, that's the worst thing you can do. But when you're going in, just ride that door into the wall. And yeah, we've done it before, and there have been squishy bodies behind the door.
it's so funny because they think that they're outsmarting someone. They're like, yo, I'm gonna hide behind the fucking door. I got this.
They won't
And then,
see me.
and then Donut Operator rolls in and he's just like, no, bitch, I
Yeah.
got you.
Sorry about your nose.
Yeah, so but like, uh, can you apply real life tactics to a game like Rainbow Six Siege? And in some way, can Rainbow Six can being good at Rainbow Six Siege and understanding the maps and like kind of like figuring out what's going on and having that tactical awareness, can that in some way benefit you in real life? So answer both those questions for me.
The only real thing that you can use in games like that is check your corners. Don't roll into the middle of a room and expect not to get shot. Look, check your corners. And can it help you in real life? No, not really, because you can't use real tactics in Rainbow Six Siege. If you stack up on the door and roll in, Lord Tachanka is going to be right there and he's going to fucking tear you up with that mounted machine gun. Or one person can just tear your whole team up. You can't stack up and roll in together. So no, there's really not much you can take out of it for the real life stuff.
Have you tried playing tactical realism on it?
No, we haven't tried yet. Well, we some nights we'll be like, all right, let's stack up and try it, and it's just like I said, there will be two or three people standing there, and they'll just tear your whole team down because you die so easily in that damn game.
Well, I mean, if you haven't tried tactical realism, what that is, okay, is that eliminates your HUD completely, so you don't even have crosshairs. You don't have your health on screen. You don't have anything. You don't have. You only have like the amount of ammo that you have, and the ammo it changes from an actual number to the amount of clips that you have. You have to manually reload, so it doesn't automatically reload, and it once again eliminates your HUD entirely. So you don't actually see who your teammates are. So if you look over, like unless you're aiming directly at them, then you'll see like their icon pop up, but you don't see where they are. So if someone goes down, you don't know where they are. And you'll actually have to follow their blood trail, or they'll have to tell you exactly what part of the room they're in. And because you don't know where they are, you have to be fully aware of who's going into what room with you and where your team's coming from. Because if they run around the corner and they haven't told you they run around the corner, you'll shoot them in the face because you had no idea that they were coming from that corner.
Yeah.
And so it's like I find that in that mode, you're actually more encouraged to stack up and complete and just like. People have designated roles. Like you're not going to have a roamer. You're going to have a designated roamer on the other team. Like that guy's not that's the person that's roaming in. Everyone else is going to be playing defensive. So you're going to know that going into this room, there's going to be people there, and you have to. It's really sick. I love tactical realism.
That's a mode on Siege.
You have to set it up in custom games. Like I have a follower of mine. He's always down to play. Like I was playing it with my server. We had like 10 people playing. It was a great time. Lots of yelling, lots of like, especially because they're used to playing like the normal casual mode where it's like you can see everything, right? But dude, first round, I think I saw like a teammate come in through the doorway, and I just straight up just aimed at his face and pulled the trigger, killed him. I was like, that was it. And I was like, oh shit, that was my teammate. And then I did it again. I did it again right after. It was insane. It was like, because we weren't communicating with each other. So you have to have that effective form of communication, which is like really, really chill. I think that's something that I feel really can carry over. But I don't know, because I haven't been a cop. I've never been put in like a high intensity situation. Like you were a SWAT officer. You weren't like just a regular police officer. Right?
Yeah. No, I was.
So you're a regular police officer, but you were part of a specific unit, weren't you?
Yeah. What most departments do, most agencies, they have part-time SWAT teams, which is where you train like 1 or 2 days out of the week, and then you patrol the rest of the time. And then when there's some serious shit going in, they call you in. Big cities like Miami, New York, LA, they have full-time SWAT teams where all you do is shoot and fucking train all day, and then you get called in. But yeah, I was on a part-time SWAT team.
Man, and did you enjoy being a cop?
Yeah, I loved it, man. I honestly, I regret getting out of it now.
You do?
Yeah.
I thought of joining the police over here in Montreal.
Dude, it's awesome. Like
3-year training though. And I don't know if I don't. Yeah, 3-year training, which I don't mind, because you have to be in peak physical condition in order to actually get in. Like all the cops that I see nowadays are fucking jacked, by the way. Like Montreal cops, don't fuck with them. They'll destroy you. Like they will destroy you. It's insane. But like, it's 3-year training. So it's just an intense training. And I'm not sure if I'll be able to talk about politics or I'll be able to be myself online, which is really annoying. I want to be able to be myself all the time. So unless I can have that guarantee, then I wouldn't go for it. But my dad's cousin has a connect with I think like the Ottawa police force, and he's like suggested multiple times that I'd be a good police officer. I think I would be a good police officer because I'd be able to de-escalate some situations. But yeah. What would you say was like your most memorable moment as a police officer?
Bad or good?
Just memorable. The one that just popped into your head as soon as I asked that question.
there was this one kid. He was like 23, 24 years old, and he had just graduated Clemson University, and he had a degree, and he was working for BMW, making over $100,000 a year, and he got into some bad heroin, and I don't know why he was doing heroin, but he got into some fentanyl and just fucking killed himself. And so I was one of the first to go over there and find his body. And bodies really don't bother me. It's just it always bothered me the fact that he had so much ahead of him, but he was doing heroin and he just got into a bad batch. I don't know. I don't see why people do shit like that sometimes when they have it all. So I don't know. I remember that one specifically because I had to tell his mom on the phone, who was in Florida, that her son was dead.
It's fucked
And
up.
yeah, so that I don't know, that's one that just pops into my head.
That's fucked up. Someone in the chat just said I couldn't be a cop because I would be too nice. No, I'm nice to you guys because you guys are my following. I'm nice to my people online because you're my following. But give me a guy who's like a little bit hopped up and nice guy Bunty disappears.
Yeah, I was nice as hell to people, but there's always a point where you need to ramp it up.
Yeah, no, for sure, absolutely. I think it's just you just don't want to be a doormat. You can be nice but not be a doormat, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. People in chat are asking about the SWAT.
Yes, the swatting. Yeah, please talk. Let's talk about that. Actually, let's totally talk about that.
I am in the middle of making a video about that. I was going to do a full breakdown of the whole situation.
So then we don't need to talk about it, you know.
No. Let's talk about it. Fucking,
yeah, sure. Let's go.
They want to hear about it. Do you have any questions about it?
I mean, for me, it's pretty cut and dry. Like it's not like there's not much to like the people that were involved in actually getting the swatting to happen should be prosecuted. Mm-hmm. I think that these are people that should be like held accountable for their actions because you're sending a fully armed like SWAT team that are prepared for like a fucked up threat to someone who doesn't know what's going on, and you're endangering their life. You're intentionally endangering life. It's not just a simple prank. Yeah. Now there has been criticism placed on like the police officer, and I saw you kind of debating some people about it. Mm-hmm. And I'm more empathetic towards the police officer because fuck man, I don't know what his tenor was. I have no idea what like he how much experience he had. Like there's so much shit going on there and that very one moment, and like these people are once again they're prepared for a fucked up situation. Yeah. And so if someone makes a sudden movement that they perceive as a threat, they're going to fire the shot. And like you said, they're not going to fire the shot for like the hand. It's not like a fucking Hollywood movie. They shoot the guy's hand and it's like, oh yeah, sick. He dropped the weapon. It's no, they're going to aim for center mass. Yeah. And they're going to probably kill the guy. Yeah. And it's just an unfortunate situation all around. But I just feel like a lot of people have come down on the police officer that pulled the trigger in a way that's a little unfair.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw an article today. I need to get into it where they're saying they want the police officer punished for it, and I need to read a little bit more into it. I still don't know all the facts as to what happened. A lot of people are jumping to conclusions in this too. Like, why would they just run in the guy's house and shoot him? Well, they didn't. They called him out on his porch, and that's where he got shot. They didn't just rush into his house. One of the biggest things that I see people talking about online is why didn't they call to see if it was real? My big thing on that is to have the tactical advantage. This is someone who you believe just killed. I think they said he killed his father, was holding his other family members hostage, and had poured gasoline all over the house. I think that was another thing. So the police are going in there, and that's the only knowledge that they have. They're not going to call the guy and say, "Hey, did you do all this? Did you do all these things?" So he can fortify a position on his fucking window and just shoot the police as they roll up. No, they set up a perimeter, and then they called him outside. And the guy came outside, and it sucks because he didn't know what the hell was going on. And from what the video looked like, he had his hands up, but he kept putting them down, and that's when one officer fired on him.
Okay, because there's video of it, right? And and this is interesting because the video of it was from what, body cams?
Yeah.
Okay, it's body cam videos. And I remember we had a conversation about body cams and specifically BLM's stance on how they want to remove body cams.
Yeah.
Which I think is so insane and counterproductive, considering the body cams have resulted in less fatal incidences with police officers, right?
Yeah, well, it's also brought down the number of complaints that I forgot which university it was, did a big study on it. And uh, agencies that use body cams, the complaints against officers for the agencies went down 90%. Because
That's
people,
insane. What a fucking crazy number.
yeah, 90%. And yeah, there's the organization for Black Lives, which is comprised of Black Lives Matter and a bunch of other groups like that who want to do away with body cameras.
Which is nuts. That's nuts. That's totally nuts. So maybe you're able to get what's amazing about having the body cams, all right? Obviously, there's a bunch of amazing things, but it's amazing because you get to take this footage and you get to use your experience as a police officer and determine if the police officers were in the wrong or they're in the clear, you know?
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. I just don't get why it perplexes me. It just perplexes me, really.
Mhm.
And I think that hatred of the cops also perplexes me because I know that there's obviously the bad apples, right? The ones who are there to just be rats, and you, I believe, have encountered some like that. I feel like everyone that's been a cop has encountered a rat. But the one thing that I find is really is sad is that people don't realize that a lot of these people that do sign up are really just there to kind of help and to
Yeah.
literally protect and serve.
Yeah.
Whenever I've thought about joining joining the police force, has never been, oh, I can't wait to like roll up on people and give them tickets and like call them faggots, like.
Here's your ticket, faggot.
Yeah, like you're a fucking faggot. Here's your ticket, asshole. Stop speeding in a 50 zone, you piece of shit. I wouldn't do that. That's not something I'd do. I'd probably like pull them over and be like, listen, you're speeding in a 50 zone. I'd really appreciate it if you don't do that. Here's your warning.
Yeah.
Thanks. And I would do that as many times a day, so long as it was just one fucking person doing it, But yeah, listen, whenever I want to do it, it's never been to be like, I want to be this asshole. I wanted to do it so that I'm like, this would be like the ultimate way to give to my community, where like I'm literally there to protect people within the community. So anytime someone called me, even if it was a stranger, they knew that I was going to be there to protect them and to help them and to want to, and that's like the most altruistic thing that I find anyone could do. And it just sucks that, police officers have this bad reputation, because talking to someone like you, I would say that you're more representative of people, of police officers, than those bad ones.
Yeah.
Would you say that that's correct?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you're to suck your own dick here. I'm saying like, do you feel like in your experience in the police force that you encountered amazing people?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
I could say the officers at my agency, we never had any incidents of like anyone being dirty or crooked. We had some officers that just sucked at being police officers, but I really never saw any shady shit going on at my agency. And I know it happens. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it really is not common.
Describe a shitty police officer without going into specifics, of the person, but describe a shitty police officer.
Well, policing is what you make of it. If you want to be a hard charger, then you can do that. But if you just want to sit in your patrol car and answer calls and do the bare minimum, you're still going to get paid the same as those hard chargers. And so that's what I always saw as a shitty police officer. And there were always people like that. Are people who, when there's a like just a dangerous call to go to, active shooter, any kind of shooting, stabbing, stuff like that, who would on purpose get there after a few other officers had already arrived on scene because they were scared. So stuff like that. Yeah, I've seen that a few times.
But most officers, no officers don't ride alone. They ride with other people, right?
No, we ride alone. It just depends on the agency. Some agencies do double. Some agencies ride alone.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Riding alone must be fucking intense.
I mean, you always have someone in your area that can come back you up. So you usually weren't alone on calls.
Okay, so because I mean, most of the time you'd be there, and then like someone else would show up, right?
Yeah. If it was like a shoplifting, usually nobody would show up, or a theft, something little like that. But if it's like criminal domestic violence, officers get killed on those more than anything, then you'd have 2 or 3 other cars show up just to assist. And you watch each other's back. So
I think that just makes sense.
That's why like it always drives me crazy when I see people on Facebook and shit. They're like, why do they need 8 cop cars at this call? It's like, well, if there's no other calls going on and you want to make sure everything's okay, you're going to stop by and see if your buddy's doing okay. So
yeah. Sorry, give me 1 second. I do apologize. Yeah, I feel like one of the things that I feel would weigh on police officers is if like another cop were to die, right?
Hmm.
And it's almost like a failure on the that reflects on the whole team. Would you say that's correct?
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah, yeah. Let's not get into that.
no, no, no. I mean, yeah, you would feel that way. It's just, man, there's been a lot of officers shot this week. You see the thing in Colorado the other day?
No, man.
Yeah, there
No.
was a it started out as a domestic violence. This mentally ill guy, they're saying he's mentally ill now. The police were at his apartment, and he opened fire on him, and he shot 5 police officers from the same agency and killed one of them.
The
So
fuck?
yeah, there's just been a whole lot going on here lately. A lot of shootings, man.
That's do you find that it's getting worse in the States?
As the actual figures show that it's the safest one of the safest times to be a police officer. I think I read an article about that the other day.
Yeah. Well, I
But
mean, I feel like just we live in the time period that's one of the best time periods to live in ever.
yeah, but the hatred is at an all-time high for police officers,
Really.
Yeah, yeah.
But is
That
it like an online hatred? Is it an actual palpable hatred that you can feel when you're on the streets?
Oh, you can definitely feel it when you're on the streets. And it's fueled by all these people on it's fueled by social media and the media not getting their facts right. And that's why I created my YouTube channel, because you have big news stations like CNN who are getting their fucking facts wrong, and it's making people hate the police. And you
That
got people like Tariq, who fucking hates the police, who's always on here. Like, they're just, we can compare them to the slave patrols of the old days, and
I know, right? Isn't that fucked up?
it just puts a hatred in people's hearts for police
It's
officers.
just you can tell that it's like you can tell that these extreme groups. It doesn't matter if they're left or right. They always kind of come in with these shitty memes. They're like really shitty memes. You can tell that like they've shared it a bunch of times because like the quality is really garbage too. It's never
Yeah.
like a crisp image. It's not like something that someone's put together. It's literally pulled out from their fucking folder. They like fucking grab their shitty cheese covered mouse to like go over to the little dirty ass folder that's got all their fucking stat memes in, and they drop it in there. And so you can tell it's just garbage being given to you.
Yeah.
And I think that's so annoying, and it's crazy because it just goes to show how simple people are and how they're willing to kind of just hop onto anything that kind of confirms their bias just immediately. I've done that too, by the way. Like, it's happened to me. Like, I've been like, oh, that makes me feel a certain way, and it makes me feel better about myself and my position. So yeah, I'm gonna go with this narrative because it's what's presented to me, and it seems like the most like valid. Do you
Yeah.
find that that's not something that you do as well? You're obviously more biased to kind of see the police perspective, to present a better light on police officers. Like you said, that's why you started a channel. Do you find
Yeah.
that your bias gets in the way of you being objective in certain situations?
I wouldn't say it's my bias. It's just my obsession with finding all the facts before I make a decision on how I feel about it. And that's what a lot of people don't do, is they get their all their news or all their information about police incidents from one source. People don't go to multiple sources anymore and put it all together and actually figure out what's going on, because you'll have the root, for instance. A lot of people get their news from that, and they hate police officers, and they'll leave parts out on why the police did a certain thing. And then you'll go over here and to another news source, and it'll give a little bit more information on why the police officer did this. And you'll go to another news source, and it'll give a little bit more. So you really got to just get you really got to get your news from multiple sources. You can't go to one or two places, because they're gonna be wrong every time.
Yeah, and it's awesome because, like, I mean, your channel exists, and your channel, I think, is like, and you're not, and you don't leave anything out. That's something that I noticed. So you don't leave anything out. You kind of just look at the whole thing, and you're like, this is what happens. This is what I'm telling you, just based on my experience as a police officer, and you're a pretty trustworthy guy because you wouldn't leave anything out. And I think and it's unfortunate that we've kind of started to, and I think people are waking up in the sense that they're really skeptical of people that leave little bits out to kind of drive this narrative. And it's also why I've kind of stopped sharing headlines, because
Mhm.
it's very easy to share a headline on Twitter and be like, and put in a couple buzzwords, tweet it out, and then rack up like, 1,000 likes, a couple hundred retweets.
Oh yeah,
Super
absolutely.
easy. And I could do that every single day if I wanted to, but it's like not right. because people are eventually going to notice that you're just doing the same thing that these other people are doing, and you're just intentionally misleading people. So it's really awesome that you're honest about it. Let me just go run through these super chats real quick here. If you're into streaming stuff, check out Glink. I think I met Glink at VidCon. Chris Dedger says, have some rupees, my man. No reason, just love what you're doing on YouTube. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that, man. But yeah, dude. What the fuck are we talking about here? We're talking about police. We were talking about misrepresentation of the police.
Headlines.
Yeah, this doesn't happen when I actually have questions laid out. By the way, you know that you can actually ask me questions because we're just shooting the shit here. So feel free to just shoot anything. I am hosting you, but like you're not overstepping by saying whatever the fuck you want to say. Like it's totally cool. Like you have that. I don't give that permission to everyone, but because most of the time I have I consider a friend, so we can just talk about whatever. But going back to gaming, would you say that your Twitch channel has helped you where while YouTube has kind of like pulled monetization away from you? Do you find your Twitch benefited you in that regard?
As far as monetization goes?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually doing pretty well, man. I get a lot of subscribers, and if you're doing Twitch, it's important to point out that when people have Amazon Prime, they can subscribe to you for free. That really helps with subscriber counts. Help me get a lot of subscribers. I'm laughing because Ricky Berwick just said, "Arrest me on video, Daddy." Yeah. Hey, Ricky.
Hey, Ricky. Thank you so much for that $2. Ricky's the cheapest guy ever because Ricky actually has close to $1 million. He's the richest cripple.
Oh yeah,
the richest cripple I've ever met in my life, and he's just throwing me $2. Like that's disgusting, Ricky. Get the fuck out of here, Ricky. I hate you. Okay.
I loved your video.
Where he's like trying to shave my beard.
Yeah.
That was so good, dude. I've got some outtakes from that, man. He spits on me. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. Awesome. I was like, oh God. But I love Ricky, man. He's honestly one of the realest dudes, and it's unfortunate because I think it's stopped now because he doesn't really feed into it, and I've actually stopped too because I would get negative comments because obviously people see this guy that they necessarily don't like, and I'm suddenly blowing up on Twitter and stuff like that. They're like, oh fuck him, I hate him, Yeah. But I've tried to start avoid addressing them because it doesn't matter. There's so many people that are just really chill. Especially in the chat right now, that are just totally down. So I find that focusing on the positives really does help. So even if and I feel like you do that a lot too.
Yeah, I love Ricky, man. And my kids imitate Ricky a lot. And so
really?
When I show them their videos.
How do they imitate him? Do they crawl on their on the ground and just spit at you?
No, they'll do the tongue flick at me. Like they'll say something. You're doing the Ricky again, aren't you? Yeah, we are.
That's really, really good. How old are your kids?
8.
Okay, both 8?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's great. That's really, really cool.
Yeah. Ricky says fuck off. He's telling people fuck off in your chat.
Yeah, Ricky is a rat. Ricky's a rat. That's what he is. Yeah. So would you say at some point that you considered stop doing YouTube? Have you stopping YouTube altogether based on the monetization? And I know that I remember we had a conversation at some point through the DMs. You told me that things weren't going super well, so we were entertaining other options. But what to what degree did that affect you?
It sucks, man, because I was really relying on YouTube for a paycheck back when we talked about it last time. I made really, really good money the month of July, and then the next month I made $200. So I made enough to pay all my bills, pay everything, and then the next month it was just they pulled the plug on it. And I haven't considered completely stopping. Of course, it slowed me down because I can't put hours of work into a video, and not make any money all of a sudden. So I got to put my effort into actually making money somewhere else. But yeah, I would never stop. What about you? Would you ever stop it?
The only reason why I thought of stopping it is because I found that it was this like I said, this whole fucking the political spectrum that I got into got way too cancerous because it really became about character assassinations, and I've never really been in it to eliminate people. Even Tariq Nasheed, I don't wish him. I've been on the record for this. I don't wish him ill will. I wish that he would be a nicer person, but I don't want him to stop existing. You know, I don't want anyone to stop existing. I wish they would just be a little bit, more empathetic in their approach to these subjects. And That's something I've always said. And yeah, I like to make fun of people sometimes, like take a jab or something like that. But most of the time, it's something I can recuperate from. It's not something that I'm just going to ultimately just completely, cut them off from. And it's just, I guess I guess there was a lot of things that kind of got to me. There was like this crazy server that I was invited onto, and it was like a server that was there to like debunk the alt-right. That's what it was pitched to me as. And then what ended up happening was that I was like pretty much absent from it, because I didn't find it enjoyable to kind of go at people with this ideology, because people who are entrenched in any kind of ideology, people who are either really religious or just they have ideas that they've affirmed over the course of their life, you're not going to change their minds, and you're not going to change their minds by just like attacking them, right? So I didn't really see that as something that would result in anything positive. And by positive, a lot of people think, oh, when he's talking positive, he's thinking money. I'm like, no, I'm not thinking money. I'm thinking like, I want to be able to like provide people content that's going to be that's going to in to some degree not help them out, because I don't have some kind of savior complex, but like just like give them something, like something to talk about, something nice, something that they don't have to like, that isn't a ball and chain, And so I completely took I was super absent from that server. But then it turns out that the people in the server were doing some really shady shit. And it just really fucked me up, man. It really did, because there were some people that like I didn't expect would be like that would be ratty, who ended up being ratty. And I found that like my pleasant demeanor, or my desire to see the good in people, was being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And I found that this was something that was pretty it was just something that was occurring within this side of YT, and it never really happened in the commentary community, because the commentary community was just all jokes and memes and stuff like that, and it's really just funny, like just drama, like silly drama. And even though there are character assassinations happening there. But yeah, it's just been shitty, because it just leads to nothing, man. Because you can talk shit about someone as much as you want, and they won't go away. Like, look, dude. Like, some people would go ahead and argue for the fact that I own Tariq Nasheed on Twitter. Tariq Nasheed still has more followers than he did when I first started, encountering him. It's not like people stopped following him. It's not like he stopped saying whatever he stopped saying. So I saw that, and I was beginning to realize that, and then I didn't really want to produce the kind of content that I was producing. Even though most of my content has been pretty chill, general, nothing like really targeting specific people. But yeah, I definitely, this long story short, holy fuck, I rambled. I fucking rambled. But yeah, I definitely thought of quitting YouTube and just doing stuff in real life. I was just like, fuck it, I'm done. I want to fucking focus on my friends, my family, and what I found to be of benefit, and I feel like everybody should do this, is just reach out to people in real life that you may have had a relationship with in the past, or one that was a relationship that you were more active in the past, and reignite that. And I've tried to reach out to people and just talk to them, and I've been going to parties and hanging out with my friends, and shooting DMs on Facebook, and just connecting with people that just I'm able to reach out to and actually touch, like someone who I can actually give a hug to.
Yeah.
And and that's pretty much it. That's I think that's like been amazing, because in doing that, I've found like a better direction for my channel. So yeah,
that's good, man. I mean, that's something good to point out to people also who are trying to pursue a career in YouTube or any kind of social media thing, or Twitch, video games, any of that, is make sure you balance your online life with your social life in the real world.
Yeah,
I can say that I've probably been doing too much shit online lately, and some of the past relationships I've had with actual people have suffered because of it. And I'm starting, as you said, to talk to people who I haven't talked to in forever, and trying to rekindle that relationship that I lost because I was focusing on the virtual world and all my virtual friends and all that shit so much. So that's an important point to make to everyone. Make sure you go outside.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's the thing. Like, yeah, it's like because you can be this cool dude online, all right, that's like making a change online with people across the world. Like everyone's kind of reaching out to you, like, oh my god, thank you. Like in different parts of the states, different parts of Canada, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you ultimately have to live where you're living, and if you're absent from where you're living, then you're not really living much of a life, in my opinion. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just how I feel about it, and I feel like you think the same way. So, because I mean, what are you doing? Like you're creating this content, you're getting paid, and then what are you spending the money on? You're spending the money on your family, bills, being alive.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wish more people were aware of that. And that's why I've been really against character assassinations and really digging into people's lives to the point where like you're hurting them just because they have this opinion online that you disagree with.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. That was heavy. It's really heavy.
There.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's something that needs to be talked about. And as more people's personalities go online, there's going to need to be like new laws that come into place that kind of protect people from these forms of not harassment. Like I'm not going to say like, oh, protect someone from calling me an idiot. Like I don't want to say that. Like, don't call me an idiot, I'm going to arrest you. It's like, no, I don't care about that. You can call me whatever names you want to call me. It's just that like they need to remain online, and that's it. And it's not about like going into someone's life or deplatforming them or like getting rid of them completely. Because when you try to deplatform someone, people generally like pick up their heads and they're like, wait a minute, why'd you just try to get rid of that guy? Now I want to hear what he has to say. It happened with me on Twitter. Got suspended on Twitter. I wrote that. And I was like, why did I get suspended from Twitter? I wasn't being hateful. I was just chilling. I had something to say to the guy. So yeah. So what's the future? What does the future have for you in terms of Donut Operator?
Oh man, I want to start doing more real world stuff instead of sitting in my office and talking to my computer. Like I want to do ride-alongs with different agencies and talk.
Do it! Oh my god, that'd be sick.
I really want to do it.
Sick. I'm sure they'd be down, man. I'm sure they'd be down. You said that people from police, like from I guess police academies are sending you emails saying that their instructor showed your video. You can totally do it. I'm pretty sure you'd be able to do it.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I just want to get outside more and incorporate.
You have to. You know what you should do? You should actually be reaching out to police. You should fucking to some degree like help instruct courses. I feel like someone like you would actually be able to turn out more competent police officers.
Yeah, I would actually love to do that. I think that would be really cool. And I think I could really reach out to a younger generation of police officers, because I know when I went through the academy, a lot of our instructors were these older people who hadn't been policing in 10, 15 years. They were just instructors, and they would drone on and monotone voice. It was fucking horrible. And so yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool, man, if I could get in some kind of instructor position or do something like that.
Have you tried, in terms of online, have you tried like imitating a police officer online for Twitch? Can you you could be the next Dr. Disrespect personally. I think that's what I think. if you like wore like cop glasses and you had like a legit cop get up, right? Obviously you wouldn't be able to actually really impersonate a police officer because that's illegal, but like you'd be able to like just play the role of a police officer. You'd be hilarious.
Oh, like Sheriff Eli?
That what?
Sheriff Eli?
That's an actual thing?
Yeah. You haven't seen Sheriff Eli?
No, I haven't. Dude.
He does the GTA 5 role playing stuff. And
okay, yeah. Vincent Sear does that too. He plays a murderer.
Really?
Yeah, he plays a serial killer, and he does, and because Vincent Sear is an actual real actor, he does some really cool stuff. Like he brings people to the desert and tells them a story about how his mom never loved him or something like that. yeah. And then he kills them. And he told me I was in LA, and I was just sitting there at this arcade bar, and we were talking about it. And he was like telling me about this fucking situation, right? He said, I was doing a slam poetry session or something like that, a public speaking session, right? And this detective, like the main detective, came to this like little public speaking event, and this is all in a fucking game. And I think it's hilarious that people get so invested in this role playing stuff that they actually like do this. And so he's doing this like kind of like poetry or something like that, and he asks this detective to come onto the stage. And he pretty much does the same thing where he talks about his mother and stuff like that, and he kills him in front of the entire crowd. and it's weird because he wears a red turtleneck and he drives around in a sports car, and he like acts like a total yuppie, but he's like just a complete like serial killer. It's just so funny. It's just so silly. Like I really appreciate the Twitch community. I think the Twitch community is a more happy place than Twitter or YouTube at the moment. I mean, I'm not abandoning either platform. I'm trying not to, but I'm spending less time on Twitter. I don't really respond to everyone as I used to. Like I used to respond to absolutely everyone, but I'm really beginning to just ignore the negative shit. Just like if I see something that just feels untrue, mute, gone.
Yeah,
because I know when people are being assholes, they know they're being assholes. So why would I entertain an asshole? You know, it's really that simple.
I got you.
But
I've kind of slowed down on that too. Like on Twitter, I used to retweet all my death threats, and I've kind of slowed down on that because why put that negativity out there?
I can't believe people would threaten to kill you. That's fucking stupid.
There was this one kid. Let me give a shout out to Wesley Love on Facebook, who keeps sending me messages, and he posted on his personal Facebook recently, can someone help me crowdfund a plane ticket so I can go to this guy's house and kill him? And so,
and he's still on Facebook?
Yeah, he's still on Facebook. So,
yo, dude, someone,
I want to get that fund going so he can actually come here and try it. And but yeah, I get messages like that all the time, man.
That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. Someone in the chat wrote, "Man by fire. Hey, Bundy, take a breath, man. Let him respond to you. I'm so sorry. You know, sometimes I just get caught up in this fucking train of thought, and I just have to like blurt out whatever I'm saying." Dude, someone said something similar to that to me before VidCon. He was like, "Next time I see you in Montreal, I'm gonna knock you out." And so I shared a screenshot of it and posted it on my public Facebook, which, I mean, I've got almost 2,000 friends on Facebook, and they saw that, they were like, "What the fuck? Yeah. Have you? I mean, how is his profile still active? Like, why is he? Because this guy got deleted. Like, he was gone. I had friends messaging him. They were like, "Don't you dare!" and that was it. His profile's gone. Why is he still around? This Wesley loser.
I don't know, man. I've reported him. I think it's a fake profile. Yeah. But I found his real profile. I know his real name. So
that's great. That's great. Yeah. That's great. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I love that you look directly into the camera as you said it. Because if you see he's watching, you're like, I know your real name. Donut's Twitch link, by the way, guys. In fact, all of Donut's social media. I haven't put his Patreon in there, but I will put it in. You know, it's all in the description of the video, as with all my guests. I dropped that in there. And I think that's pretty much it. Like, listen, we talked about a bunch of shit. I'm sorry for not kind of like preparing questions, but, you know, I just wanted to shoot the shit with you and just talk to you again.
It was fun talking to you, man.
Oh, it always is. And if you're playing Siege later tonight, I'm going to probably hop on and play with you if that's cool with you.
Sweet.
I mean, if you have a fucking full squad and you're playing with your subs, and that's totally chill. It's completely different, but I won't be bothered. But guys, that was Donut Operator. If you guys can, and if you guys haven't heard of him, please go to his channel and subscribe to him. I promise you that you will enjoy his content. He's a really reasonable guy. I'm sure that you just also heard that how reasonable he is. He, you know, in light of all the craziness that's been going on Twitter, in America, in terms of police brutality and all that stuff, he is one of the people that is really standing for the more truthful aspect of it. And yeah, listen, thank you so much for watching. And I will see you guys real soon. Bye-bye.